Hey, it's Josh from JoshLM Finance. So, have you noticed that your local bank branch might have vanished? Or maybe you find yourself heading to a POS agent way more than you ever used to. Well, you're not imagining things. You're actually witnessing a massive shift in how banking works in Nigeria, and it's happening right now. Today, we're going to break down exactly what's going on, why banks are shutting their doors, and most importantly, what it means for your money. Let's get right into it.
So let's start with just one number, 229. That's how many bank branches were shut down across Nigeria in a single year. Not over 5 years, not over 10 years, in just 1 year. This isn't some slow, gradual trend. This is a huge, sudden change in the financial landscape.
And here's where it gets really interesting. The total number of branches dropped from well over 5,300 down to just over 5,100. But get this, at the exact same time, the number of licensed banks in the country actually went up from 33 to 35. So think about that. We have more banks, but fewer physical locations. It's a crystal clear sign that the old strategy of just building more branches is completely out the window.
But this whole thing isn't happening evenly across the country. Oh no. Where you live really determines what this looks like for you. It's kind of like a tale of two different Nigerias. And this right here really shows you the strategy in action. Just look at Ebonyi State. It lost a staggering 89 branches. It went from having 120 branches all the way down to just 31. I mean, that is a massive drop in physical banking access. Niger and Oyo also took pretty big hits. But then you look at the other side of the coin. States like Rivers, Edo, and Kaduna actually gained branches. So you see, banks aren't just closing up shop randomly. They are making very strategic moves, pulling their resources out of some areas and doubling down on others.
So, what's really driving all of this? Well, it takes us straight to what I'm calling the digital gold rush. There is one big reason your local POS agent seems to be the busiest person on the street, and honestly, it's the main character in this whole story.
This slide says everything you need to know. Just look at the growth for ATMs. It's basically flat. The number of transactions went up by less than 1%. Now look over at POS machines. The volume of transactions just exploded, up 33%. And the value of all that money changing hands, it more than doubled. It's simple. We, the customers, are changing how we bank in a huge, huge way.
And to put a number on that, an absolutely massive 223.27 trillion naira flowed through point-of-sale terminals in 2024. That is an unbelievable amount of money. It just goes to show you how these POS agents have become completely central to Nigeria's economy, and it feels like it happened almost overnight.
But you know, let's be real here. It has not been a perfectly smooth ride. We all remember the cash scarcity problems, right? When all of a sudden, just getting your own money was a nightmare. And those POS charges just went through the roof. Sometimes you were paying 200 naira just to withdraw 5,000. So yeah, this big digital shift has definitely had some serious growing pains.
The good news is, the people in charge noticed. The Central Bank of Nigeria, the CBN, they stepped in and they were not playing around. They hit 9 major banks with fines totaling 1.35 billion naira because they weren't keeping their ATMs stocked with cash. That sent a very clear message. Hey, even if you're going digital, you cannot just abandon basic services for your customers.
Okay, so we've seen what's happening. Let's dig a little deeper now into the why. What are the real reasons these banks are packing up their expensive physical branches and pouring money elsewhere?
It all comes down to one core idea: digital migration. And what's really important to understand is that this isn't just a strategy being pushed on us by the banks, it's actually being led by us, the customers. We are all basically voting with our thumbs. We're choosing the convenience of a mobile app or the accessibility of a POS agent down the street over standing in a long queue at a bank branch.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. This quote from a big KPMG survey absolutely nails it. It says, fintechs are just plain outperforming the old school banks when it comes to customer experience. People now associate fintechs with speed, with reliability, and with apps that are actually easy to use. The traditional banks are, frankly, struggling to keep up with this new standard. And this pressure is coming from some very specific disruptive companies. You know the names. Fintechs like OPay and MoneyPoint. They didn't just enter the market, they completely changed the rules of the game. They built their entire business around a massive network of agents and apps that are super easy to use. And by doing that, they set a brand new standard for speed and convenience that the big banks are now scrambling to match. So, with all this change happening so fast, what does it all mean for you and me, for our wallets? How do we actually navigate this new banking world? Well, that brings us to the last and maybe the most important part of this explainer: your new money playbook.
Okay, here are 4 simple, practical steps. First, go digital. Get really comfortable using your main bank's app and maybe have a fintech app as a backup. Second, watch those fees. If you hear whispers of cash shortages, plan your withdrawals ahead of time so you don't get stuck paying crazy POS charges. Third, diversify your options. It's a really smart move to have an account with a traditional bank and also one with a fintech. And finally, stay informed. Keep an eye on updates from the CBN so you always know your rights and any new rules that might affect you.
You know, when you put all of this together, the closing branches, the boom in fintech, the reliance on POS agents, it all points towards one big, challenging question. It's something we all need to think about. With all the infrastructure issues and just how fast this is happening, is Nigeria truly ready for a cashless future?
I would really love to know what you think about this. Have you seen branches close in your neighborhood? How has this whole shift actually affected you personally? Drop a comment below. Let's talk about it.
If this helped you, subscribe to JoshLM Finance. This channel is building a growing library of clear, step-by-step money explainers you can always come back to. Click the video on your screen now. It's the next best breakdown YouTube picked for you to help you make smarter money decisions. And please share this with someone who needs it. Thanks for tuning in.